Hello, 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 and welcome once again to the most uncontroversial league of all time, the Assetto Formula Open. I'm gonna bring you lots to the magic that is Bahrain, or apparently not. Oh, there we go. We can see it now. Welcome to Bahrain, ladies and gentlemen, for what is round 7 of the AFO Championship. We are here with 3 rounds left to go and all to play for. It is 5 points that separate the title rivals, Jaap and Jorge Caro, and all eyes will mostly be on them to see what happens between those two. It's currently Jaap in pole, but Jorge is not far behind, and he has shown time and time again that 145 can easily be breached. So let's have a look. Let's see what happens. I'm in the commentary box as always with the very skilled, the very talented, the multiple accolade-winning sports pundit and former racing driver, as well as professional football player, Joãozinho Fernandinho. How are you doing, my friend?
Absolutely wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. Always for another wonderful evening of AFO racing. I've got nothing to complain about, mate. I'm living the life. Yeah.
It's looking to be a very, very interesting race today. So, good track, fantastic lineup.
Yeah, of course. Now, it does seem to me that several of our drivers have failed to understand the pit lane penalty. Dan Thine is stuck in the pits, as well as Ilhan Goodman, who I think will miss the driver's briefing, and Petar Prentic currently in the very stylistic all-carbon KV Motorsport. Now, I think this is just on my screen that I cannot see their skins. That was you as well. Great, fantastic. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what was in the new skin patch today, but the KVs, maybe deciding to protest for a BLM, have decided to go for a full carbon look. Big up, put the fist up for your brothers. Yeah, I respect that. Respect that from KV. And I'm hoping that these lot have pitted in like they've not teleported, because if they have teleported, I don't know, and I might have to scrap 107 just for this weekend, because I genuinely, I'm not sure why 4 drivers have yet to set lap times. But we'll have a look. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, João, you've been out of it for a while. You've been busy, mastering your own things. I heard you were climbing Mount Everest the last week, so clearly haven't had much time to ponder on the sport. But sort of, what are your initial takes going into the final triple header of the season?
Definitely. Well, thank you for a start. I just won my second World Cup last week, so
Congratulations, mate.
I'm back here in the commentary booth as I love to be, and yeah, it's a very, very, very good. I think I'm going with track. Start on the track. We're here at Bahrain. Temperatures are rising, but drivers themselves, I don't know how to go this.
Are keeping it cool.
Have to help me out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a seriously good lineup of drivers here, and I think we can be a bit of a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll talk a little bit about the general storylines heading into this one, and then we will allow João to oh, and apparently they can't hear you. Oh, I've not even turned on the desktop audio. Thank you, Antoine, for bringing that up. So no one's been able to hear the car engines or the track. That's actually or yourself. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I installed the new KV livery, Antoine, and for some reason now it's not working. It was working before. It's not working now. I don't know what's happened. But yeah, you guys are representing the BLM movement, so I respect that. Will you guys continue to do that in the next 2 races? I'm not entirely sure, but we'll find out. Yeah, so I'll talk a bit about the overall headlines, and then João can chip in. Obviously, Jaap 5 points ahead of Jorge. These two are going to be neck and neck with each other. We've then got Murat Goodman in his first race for MyRGP. Obviously, the divorcee of the amazing partnership at Dinier Maserati, currently up doing bits for the Turkish outfit MyRGP. We've then got Noah Sparks in his grand return to AFO after nearly 6 months out. He was a former KV pilot himself, and he's now in the Sky Clan. Could this be the time for them to give much needed points? The time will tell. And then we've got Jorge Mandelbaum in the KDR. They're showing off a nice, lovely livery for their final 3 races with Honda. And then you can see Sakura trees, a nice Japanese text on the rear wing. A very nice livery. It's a shame it wasn't seen in a track like Suzuka, but I'm sure they can show off here today. Elliot Vega, currently in 6th for his team. Currently the sole Vega Sport after Simon Wagenvoort opted to not race in wake of events in Imola. Arda Güler, meanwhile, or Arla Simtek, which is his actual name, I think, that he's chosen, but I went with Arda Güler instead. I don't know why I've decided to keep it on the server, but Arda Simtek, right? Of becoming the first driver to race in Camber Powerhouse's official return. Obviously, I love to keep mentioning this because it's the only thing I've won in this series so far, but the first ever Constructors Champions in AFA history. And they've made it a grand return. So let's see what they can do. I'm sure they'll be happy with just a few points given how Tiger Sport's been doing this season. But keep an eye on this very sexy car. Stan Von Dutch in the other KDR had some teething server side issues, but has now made it in, thankfully. Evan Pardy, currently in 4th in the championship, will be hoping to use this as an opportunity to get back into 3rd. And if Jorge and Jaap tangle up, could be an opportunity for him to get him back into the championship. Ryan Hawk, currently stranded in the pits, and Petar Prentic, at the moment, trying to set a lap time. And at the moment, it might be voided. I'm not entirely sure why Petar's been unable to set a lap here, because he's been completely on fire, and I think this might be the first time in history where I see about 3 drivers who I know got into the 107. I mean, I saw these lot all setting practice times. The 107 will be voided. So I'm going to quickly just hop into the stage just to let them know that. But Joao, you just stay here for the time being. And the stage is gone. I had no idea. The stage has disappeared. Great. I will let people know in driver chat then. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what. We use our beautiful admin tool. So those viewers are now going to get to see what I do with this. Yeah, I think Petar is on a lap at the moment. I can't really tell.
He is, yeah.
Is he? Right. So we're not going to send any messages out for the time being. I don't want to distract anyone. But yeah, looks like Petar's on a lap here. Ryan Hawk's 7 seconds behind. I'm not entirely sure if that's a safe lap time for Ryan. He has obviously came back from a wee sabbatical. But yeah, Joao, if you can just do the honors for a wee bit while I'm busy calculating.
Absolutely, I sure can. So as I do, Jaap Wagenvoort is on his final lap. Sets it's not fast enough for pole position. Very, very close, 7 thousandths behind pole sitter Jorge Caro as it stands. So Petar Prentic and Murat Goodman, the only 2 left on laps now. And is Murat Goodman to cross the line? No, he avoids it. Goes into the pit lane.
My timing screen is off, I think. My timing screen is hella off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My timing screen is hella off. Because it's saying like certain people just haven't even done lap times. Let me reset this. Bro, what? Hold on a minute. Anyway, you keep going. I'm going to fix my stream up.
Well, the only thing now to talk about is really Stan Von Dutch. Because the only driver still doing a lap that is feasible. So, Stan Von Dutch, if the 107 was in play, this would not count. But I don't believe it is this race. So Stan Von Dutch is on his last lap. The man for Dark Star, pretty relatively new signing, I think, in this new livery. So if there's one thing about the Dark Star team owner, he does like a special livery every race. So Here comes Stan Von Dutch. Not looking to improve as the timing sheets go. And he avoids it anyway. So here's a talking point.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing the new camera.
Yeah, I'm a little confused because on my screen it's saying Jaap's just staying pole, but that's clearly not true because the live timings are saying Jorge has done that. My order is completely screwed over the place. I think it's going off of the 2 laps that people have done. I'm not entirely, really not sure what's happening there, but I think we've got a few minutes before we start anyway, so yeah. I'll quickly just run through the results. So Jorge is on pole, followed by Jaap Wagenvoorts, followed by Petar Pentic, Ryan Hawk, Murat Goodman, Evan Pardy, Noah Sparks, Arda Güler, Joshua Mandelbaum, Elliot Vega, Stan Von Dutch, Ilhan Goodman, Dan Thine, and I believe to be yeah, that's it. Dan Thine, right at the bottom. I'm gonna check driver's chat real quick, just to see.
We're on the grid and we look to be in order.
You look to be in order? Thank God.
Yep, we're in order, yep.
Oh, thank God. Right, okay, I thought that it's just my game bugging then. You know what, we'll take that. I don't mind my game bugging at all, in the slightest.
We are in order, so...
We are in order. Great, okay. Okay, so slightly anticlimactic qualifying on my side, and I do apologize. I don't know why my timings just aren't working. Yeah, it's just sort of stopped recording after 2 laps, which, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what is that. Get him into Seska real quick. Oh, we still have time.
Sure.
Sure, let's do that. Okay. So, Jorge Caro in P1, an opportunity for him to take back the deficit, and I'm gonna just give them a quick message. Not real penalty settings, that's the last thing we want. Admin. There we go. Bam. Oh. And I think I've disconnected.
Yeah, you have.
Fantastic. I'm going to restart the session. Is the grid order still looking the same?
Yep.
Okay. Do I have time?
2 minutes.
I mean, like, I'm just going to restart it if I don't join in time. Like, I have the power. Anyway, we'll quickly go through the chat if there is any messages. I was gone for a minute. I have disconnected, so we are rejoining. You've still got a minute to go. But my finger is hovering over the restart button.
So maybe while we're waiting, I would just want to have a little gander at 8th place Arda Güler, actually.
Go for it.
As the Camber man. Camber making its triumphant return to AFO after, how many seasons has it been? 4?
Yeah.
4 seasons.
3 to 4 seasons, yeah.
So it's been 3 to 4 seasons since we've seen the insanely successful Camber team. Obviously, I've known of Camber for like coming up to 9 years now. And there's one thing I know, the recruitment strategy for Camber is always interesting. So they've signed the young Turk, played for Real Madrid a few years ago, Arda Güler.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember that lineup from last season. The last season they participated in, it was the ever so consistent Callum Morton,
yes,
alongside myself, which is a bit of a coincidence. And together we conquered and took that first place in the constructors. We unfortunately lost out the driver's title due to Link Lloyd of Dan Thine's Braun Jordan, whatever that amalgamation was. So yeah, let me set up my camera. So obviously, yeah, Jorge Caro on pole, followed by Jaap Wagenvoort in second, Petar Prentić third, Ryan Hawk fourth, Murat Goodman P5, Evan Party P6, Noah Sparks P7, Arda Güler P8, followed by Joshua Mandelbaum P9, Elliot Vega P10, Stan von Dutch P11, Ilhan Goodman, Murat Goodman's brother in P12, followed by Dan Thine, and then Joãozinho, who needs to get himself off the grid when the race starts. So Joãozinho, just remember to do that as soon as you can. So yeah, I am excited. We've got 20 seconds to go. And if I do stop commentating just to manage the chaos that may possibly ensue, just be ready. We've got 18 people watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. You are not ready for this. It's going to be lights out. And away we go for the first race here in Bahrain. It's a good start from Jorge. But looks like Jaap's going to try use some slipstream to see if he can get ahead of him. Who's it going to be down at the first turn? Jorge is going to make it. And Ryan looks to see if he can make a lunge. What is this camera angle? As down we go into the next couple of corners. Looks like Jaap's completely lost the corner. And he's completely lost the momentum, and he's allowing all of these people to get ahead, and it's a nightmare start for Jaap Wagenvoort, who nearly goes into the back of Petar Prentić there, completely outbreaks himself, and he nearly tags Evan Party. These two do not get along well, and that is definitely not a move he wants to make. He needs to play it safe, he needs to be patient, but making sure that he makes these moves early, because he's already completely fluffed it. And Evan, very aggressive. What on earth is he doing? I'm not entirely sure, and that's allowed Ryan Hawk to get up ahead. And it's an absolute nightmare start for Jaap, who's now got Evan, making sure he does absolutely everything. He's tagged the KV curse once again continues, and I'm not entirely sure what happened there. We'll have a look at it at the end, but it's not been a good start for Jaap. I'll tell you who it's been a good start for. It's been a great start for Jorge. Completely survived the onslaught right at the beginning. and is now up into first. Ryan Hawk using the opportunity to get ahead. Evan Pardy up into third. Murat Goodman capitalizing from the mistakes up ahead to get into fourth. Jaap Wagenvoort down into fifth. And here comes Dan Fine. He pushes past Joshi Mandelbaum, nearly pushes him off the track, but gets up into sixth. An amazing start from what was dead last, essentially. And Dan Fine putting in a shift, and oh, it's going in. We need a better camera angle. What on earth are these cameras? And that finishes one lap here in Bahrain, and oh my goodness, it's still going. Jaap Wagenvoort now trying to get around down the inside of Murat Goodman, and he's gonna have to behave here. Oh, just poking in the nose, and Evan again braking completely. Gonna cause contact with Dan Fine. And Jaap is, I'm sure he's gonna be quite infuriated here. And Evan, I think he's just completely spun as a result of that contact. It's put him out of the race at the moment. And yeah, not a clean display. It's pretty clear he's trying to do the most to help his teammate, but that was quite dirty. I mean, what do you think, Zhao, from what you could see?
Well, that was a very interesting first lap, or first minute, I should say. That is disgraceful behaviour from Evan Pardy for a start. But yeah, this is the sort of thing you want to see here at Bahrain. You know, close racing, bit of contact, but all in all clean racing, and that's not what we've seen. So hopefully it patterns up soon. But yeah, fantastic first minute here.
Yeah, fantastic first minute indeed. And Murat Goodman once again trying to see if he can defend a P3 from Jaap. But I think the wisest option is just to let him go and let him have it, because the main battle for him is Petar Prentic behind and Noah Sparks. But yeah, it's been a good start. I mean, everyone's sort of maintained positions. They're sort of still in the fight, apart from Ihan Goodman towards the back of the field. His lap times are looking a bit questionable, and I'm not too sure if the 107 will let him get past next race. Chat asking what on earth are Jaap and Evan doing. I mean, from my perspective, it did just look like Evan was just completely trying to get all the elbows out. No matter what penalties he picks up, just try and stop Jaap. And I don't think that was the best way to go about it. The best way to go about it is just a race, in my opinion, and let Jorge do what he needs to. As Joshi Mandelbaum receives a 5-second penalty for cutting 4 times on the track. So real penalty doing its dividends. But yeah, the fight is on. Petar Prentic eyeing up his prey. And that is another rogue car off. Who is that? Is that Murat? Murat spun round. Murat spun around. I think he just got an awful exit. And that's going to allow Dan Fine. It's going to allow Noah Sparks. And it may allow Evan Pardy to get ahead. But what will Murat say going into these next few corners here? Not much, and Evan's gone into the back of Dan Fine. What on earth is Evan doing? I'm genuinely kerfuffled. And he's nearly taken out Elliott there. I think he was trying to get out of the way of the racing line. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I know you'd love to watch some racing, but if you could just keep an eye on that Blue Ridge car from your lockers, that would be
no worries. Someone's already on it.
that'd be great. But yeah, not the cleanest race by any means for Evan. It's just, you can sort of tell in the driving style that he's here for something completely different, and that is to try and maximize Jorge's. But I think it's a bit of a disgrace in the sense of, I don't think Jorge needs that. I think Jorge's got the pace to just go out and win it. I don't think he needs his teammate playing all these dirty games. It just brings down the achievement, in my opinion.
Exactly, so, and I think Jorge would prefer to win it like that anyway. And this is completely uncalled for from Evan Pardy, and definitely looked into after the race.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already picked up a strike for foul behaviour in the Imola cancellation. This could be more cause for a strike. He's going to have to play it safe if he doesn't want to pick up anything else. But yeah, Jaap Wagenvoort with the fastest lap time. Now currently trying to see if he can pick down on Ryan Hawk in P2. And then further up the field, Jorge Caro in first place. So, interesting first half, I have to say. What do you think? What are your takes on it?
We're 4 minutes down and we've already seen a couple of questionable moves. But I'm very surprised by Ryan Hawk actually currently in second place. He won't catch Jorge Caro with the pace Jorge Caro's got. But he will have to defend from Jaap Wagenvoort very shortly.
Absolutely.
And Petar Prentic as well. Yeah.
And another mistake from Dan Fine, which puts him away, and now he's almost in last place. But he's going to dive down the inside. He sends Evan flying off. What the hell's happened there? That is... Dan, I'm not entirely sure that was a legal move, mate, on track. And he's just sort of slammed Evan into the wall there, and I don't think riling Evan up right now is the best idea.
No, that was definitely payback.
Yeah, and I might have missed something that's happened between these two. I think, oh yeah, it was because Evan initially hit Dan to send him flying off.
Yep.
That was payback in a sense. You don't really want to keep... You want to leave that in the hands of the stewards, though, not particularly your own. And that will probably be a penalty coming Dan's way as well. But yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, it's been chaos, but I think it's been a bit of controlled chaos. It could be a lot worse. But they've been behaving. So yeah, Jorge at the moment pulling out an insane gap out in first. So it's important to keep eyes and see what he can do. Definitely think that is of the highest standard at the moment. Setting in very nice laps, and on the telemetry, he's the fastest car on track. So very lovely from Jorge, who has announced he will be driving for Vegasport in Season 4 as a result of Blue Ridge is pulling out of the league at the end of this season. So I'm sure Elliot Vega will be very happy to have him instead of himself in the car, as unfortunately he can only attest to 11th. Kind of stuck in a bit of a train at the moment. Very, very questionable track limits there from Elliot. I think he's just about within it, because otherwise I think I would have seen that come up on my system. And yeah, Arda Güler, meanwhile, up in 7th. I feel like he's been a bit of an unspoken warrior at the moment. Completely survived all the chaos right at the start, and is currently on course for a very lovely points finish if he keeps his car there, and ahead of Joshi Mandelbaum in 8th. And I have to say, significant livery upgrade in my humble opinion from the Tiger Sport livery that started at the start of the season. But yeah, Jaap, what do you think, mate? I'll let you take your opinions on board while we've got a bit of grace periods.
There's a saying that I go by, and you know, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you perform good. And the Camber is definitely a feel-good car, and Arda Güler is showing that in full force today, up into 7th in the Camber.
Yes, absolutely. Arda Güler was very excited to be signing with Camber. He's been putting in a lot of laps for this race. He also did race in the Imola before it got chalked off, so this is technically his first debut race in AFO. Assuming this one doesn't get chalked off as well. But let's watch Dan Thine trying to see if he can make a move. He goes down the inside, and the KDR locks up, going into the move, and Dan Thine executes it perfectly ahead and moves up into 9th. But the insane amount of slipstream that Stan Von Dutch is going to have, is he going to have something to say about it, or is he going to make the wiser move and stay behind Dan for the start-finish straight, which he'll then have an amazing run? And he tries to make a move, but I think he's going to stay behind in the slipstream anyway. The issue, however, is Evan Pardy, who's on a bit of an agenda at the moment. He's going to try to see if he can make a move on the KDR. Side by side going into turn 1. Dan Thine makes a defensive move. He looks to the inside of the corner. The two behind him collide a wee bit. I think they just about keep it clean, and they have to make sure. And here comes Evan Pardy. He barges and he arges and he gets past into 10th. But Dan Thine outpaces him just to make sure if he can have his nose in the conversation. He does the outside line though. It's a bit more contact, and these two have not been getting along at all, Luckers.
No, these two have been
fine. Oh, they've spun around again. Oh my goodness me! I don't think Evan's going to be happy with that at all. I really don't, and that is, well, I think that's safe to say Evan is pretty much out of contention there, unless he gets a win in the next race, which is asking quite a lot from him. He's clearly been running with his head. His head's just not been in the game today. He's been making way too many defensive moves, very aggressive moves, very elbows out with Jaap, and ultimately costed his own race in my honest opinion. I don't think those incidents with Dan were very fair on him, but it's now sent him all the way back down to 12th. So it is a grave shame. However, not a grave shame in the slightest is the two KVs, I have to say. For the first time this season, it looks like both of them are running in unison, and well. It looks like they might actually be on for a lovely points finish here. And Dan Thine, And this could be detrimental to Vegasport, who, when they came into this race, were looking to see if they can maybe outplace Sony GP with 2 cars. Instead, their only car is in 10th, and the nearest competition behind them is KV, which are currently in 3rd and 4th. So this could be the race for them to try and get back into 3rd.
Definitely. If there's one thing to say about KV is that they are a very tight-knit team. Very good chemistry between the 2 drivers, Peter Prentice and Brian Hawk, as well as the team owner as well.
Yeah, Antoine Capon making sure that he gives his drivers all of the resources, and they've not necessarily had the luckiest season. I mentioned it in the podcast. More than welcome to tune in for the next one on Thursday. But it is mainly just bad luck that gets on top of their successes. It seems today, though, that the racing gods are shining down on them, and they should be able... Ryan currently in the conversation at the moment for P2 if Jaap makes a mistake. I don't think it'll happen, but you can never say never. I didn't think Evan would be down at 11th, but he is. I mean, more on that. I didn't even think he was going to show up today, but, you know, I think that just goes to show anything can happen. So...
Especially after protesting the same for so long that he wasn't going to race, but
yeah. But he is here today, so we love to see it. Let's have a look and see if there's any other stuff going up and down the grid. It looks like there's a bit of a fight between Noah Sparks and Murat Goodman. The marketing campaign going around is that the Spark is back. Is that in AFO, or is that in Noah Sparks himself? Now, a little reminder, when we were running in Season 2, he was the lead pilot for KV, and he was up there racing in the yellow car, making sure they get them full points, and he was almost a star driver, but then he got a very unlucky fright when his sim rig basically killed itself. Since then he's been out of the race, since then he's been out of sim racing in general, but now he's back with a vengeance. Unfortunately, when he came back, knocking on KV's door, they had already made up their mind. Petar Prentić was the man to take his seat. And so, unfortunately, he had to look elsewhere, and he has joined the bottom-running Sky Clan at the moment, and currently putting them on course for a very strong P5 finish in this first race, unless Murat Goodman has anything to say about it. What do you think is going to unfold here as well?
Well, Murat Goodman is a man with minimal experience but strong will, as I know from experience myself. So Murat will definitely not give up. He's in a good position right now, though. 6th place is a bit unusual for him. So yeah, he'll look to hold this position, I think. And if he's smart, he won't make a move in those spots.
Yes, absolutely. We'll keep that up on the live time as well. It's important to make sure we also keep an eye on the KVs. Now, I'm sure these two are working together.
I've got to get my chicken, one second.
Absolutely, mate. Go tuck in. Go have a good one. We'll keep an eye on the racing action for you. But yeah, it does look to be that Ryan Hawk, currently the lead KV at the moment. And the first time they're actually having a lovely race. Seems to be that they don't have a livery, which is kind of on my bad. But yeah, let's have the battle meanwhile behind seems to be going pretty insane as well. It's really just down to which is the more superior blue team, I think. As is the case. But yeah, I think championship-wise is going to be a bit of damage limitation. The front runners are... It's just going to bridge them even closer. The gap's going to get even shorter. And yeah, it just seems to me that Jaap just didn't really get a good start, and then he just got marred by Evan and his antics, which I'm sure he's glad to have survived. So yeah, it's pretty it's something. It's something, I can tell you that much. So yeah. Yeah, in the absence of Zhao, I suddenly realized how I don't really have much to chat about. Could Josh Mandelbaum secure pole for round 2? Maybe. I'll let you guys ponder on that. Josh Mandelbaum currently running a stellar race in P8s, getting more and more points for the team. Dan Thine on his tail, but Dan Thine probably will get penalties for contacts with Airman. It's only a matter of time. And oh, what's going on there? Elliot Vega sent round. Sent round, or did he lose traction? I didn't really see that. I don't think Evan was close enough to be making any contact with Elliot. So two of them have not really seen eye to eye. But I don't think they'd be going around taking each other out. It has been pretty insane at the back of the field, I have to say, Luckers. It's almost as if the front's been behaving themselves more than the back, but that's usually how it goes. Meanwhile, let's see if Murat Goodman can make a move on Noah Sparks, down into turn 1. He's going to see if he can maybe make a look. He's going to go for the lunge, and he puts his car in the conversation. And is Noah Sparks going to come back with the answer? He has an insane loss of traction, but manages to get his car up in the conversation. First fastest lap, meanwhile, from Evan Party, side by side into the downhill section. What's it going to be? They are side by side, and this is the racing that we want to see from two very, very distinguished racers in the AFO history. The star boy of Season 3 versus the star boy of Season 2. It's a very, very interesting spectacle, and I don't think this battle is done yet. I think Murat nearly had it. He just didn't have the exit speed, Luckers. It seems to me that Luckers is...
Sorry. Yeah,
all
definitely.
Good, all good.
I have been impressed by Noah Sparks, actually. And I will just very quickly hand it back over to you, because Jorge Caro is running the final corner now, and this is your favourite bit.
Yes,
so
absolutely. So Jorge Caro didn't really get much coverage, but more for the sense of just the fact that he's led an absolutely fantastic race. In a race where he needs to make sure he gets those 5 points from Jaap off, he wins. He got the pole. He wins the race. He kept out of trouble. Jaap Wagenvoort, for the start that he had, losing a lot of positions, he'll be so happy to get back into second. Ryan Hawk and Petar Prentić, give it up for these lot. They have had an absolutely awful season. And by their standards, this is where they want to be. I'm sure those wins were looking lovely. But is it safe to say KV might finally be back? I think Ryan Hawk just performs in the Middle Eastern countries. Noah Sparks on return with a wonderful P5. Murat Goodman will have to settle for P6. And Arda Güler, give it up for Arda Güler to get 7th in his first ever race in AFO history. Dan Thine crosses the line. He will get P8. Joshi Mandelbaum in P9 and Elliot Vega in P10. Evan Party will cross the line. He gets a couple of track limits infringements. He will be finishing in P11. Stan Van Dutch, meanwhile, comes around the final corner and tries to see if he can have anything to say. Yeah. I'm sure it's not the race he wanted to have, but he remains in the conversation for race 2. And that's why you want to stay on. So yeah, I think what I have started to realize is as well, real penalty would give me the ability to give penalties on the spot. So I think that might be an option going forward. We can look into that. But yeah, a good race. It's always an AFO race with a bit of controversy.
Give me 1 second.
Yep. So yeah, it will be the top 6 starting on pole position. So Murat Goodman will start on pole position, followed by Noah Sparks, followed by Petar Prentić, Ryan Hawk, Jaap Wagenvoort, and Jorge Caro. Definitely an interesting top 6. We'll have a look.
Oh, was it top 6? Oh, okay.
Top 6, yeah. Top 6 indeed, yes.
So we know what that means.
Yeah, Murat Goodman will be on pole position.
Oh my god.
So yeah. I've just had some lovely tea. Put it down my throats. And wow,
Okay.
it has really revitalized my energy.
Wonderful.
Yes. Obviously, penalties need to apply. There was a contact between Jaap and I think it was... Was it Evan? It was someone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Probably.
Jaap and Evan. There was a contact there that will need to be investigated. But obviously, those are incidents we will look into at the end of the race. So, for now, you can assume that Jorge, or I don't think Jorge did anything wrong. I think that race win is solidified. But yeah, and I think the pressure is maybe starting to get to Jaap Wagenvoort a bit. I mean, obviously he managed to get back up to second, but that was a very, very late sort of breaking point, breaking move that he had, where he nearly took out, I think, one of the KB drivers. It could have been very, very dangerous. So yeah, there's a lot of talking points. I think sort of just in the heat of the moment, I'm struggling to sort of think of what I can really say. As the grid sort of gets ready, we can see Murat Goodman in pole position, and goodness me. You know what? I know you're not the happiest with him, but I think we genuinely have to sort of just look at... We just sort of have to look at Murat's career just for a short bit. Obviously, season 2 came in and just kept asking for a drive, just kept asking. Kept going in general, kept asking how to get a seat. And I think people just sort of ignored him because they just didn't think he was really committed or really had the speed. Season 3, however, but obviously you had an eye out for Murat. You gave him the drive. Obviously he drove for CHP, and at first we were like, oh, a bold move from CHP, but CHP had him, and then reunited, and then a string of lovely results for Murat. It put him in contention for the Dini Air seats. And then Dini Air signed him, and then I think there was 2 races for Dini Air. Fortunately, that was soon to be a divorced relationship as Murat went into Meyer GP, a team that he has a share in, and now he's starting a race from pole position. I think if you told me that Murat would have this insane trajectory in AFO, I would not believe you.
That's just my recruitment strategies. What can I say? No, he has been thoroughly impressive, to be honest. It's not often you find someone in the wild that's got as much fire in his heart as Murat does. So definitely good to have him in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway,
Dan Fine disagrees.
Dan Fine thinks we shouldn't have clean racing. Oh dear. Very well. I'll tell you one thing though. We have 10 seconds to go until the start of race 2. Both KBs again in the second row. Murat Goodman starts from pole. Noah Sparks on the front row. It's lights out and away we go for race 2 here at Bahrain. It's a good start from Murat Goodman. He covers off the threat of the Sky Clan for Noah Sparks, but Noah Sparks has a good run. Will the KVs get involved? They play it safe heading into turn 1. Murat with a lovely line, and I think he's going to get away perfectly there. What a start for Murat Goodman.
Caro's gone.
Caro's gone. What's happened? He's completely fluffed it, and again, the race 2 luck. We'll come back to that. But, I mean, I didn't see that incident. I'm not entirely sure what happened. But it looks like Caro has, once again, another massive rebuilding job to do. Again, out of his hands completely. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I didn't see what happened. But I'm sure that's definitely put a smile on Jaap Wagenvoort's face. It's for the time, though. I don't think he's really thinking about that. He's thinking about Petar Prentic is trying to make a move on him in the back, and Evan Pardy is now there, as well as Dan Thine. Jaap has got a lot of problems to worry about, and it could also be him spun out in a matter of seconds. He needs to watch out, but Murat Goodman leads with a bit of contact at the back between the Blue Ridge Racing car, and I think that was the Vegas Sport. It's all kicking off at the back. What the heck is going on? It's very, very close. Arda Güler going side by side with Dan Thine. I'm sure Dan is absolutely elated to be racing a Real Madrid footballer at the moment. And Noah Sparks down into third. Ryan Hawk up into second, and Murat Goodman maintaining the lead. It is an insane start to a very, very hyped up race. And you can see Murat making the defensive move, and down they go into the final corner. Murat keeps it, but he's at a compromised line now, and now Ryan Hawk, all he knows that all he has to do now, and there's a big spin. Jaap up into third. Petar Prentic keeps going. Who was that who spun round?
Noah Sparks.
It was Noah Sparks. It was Noah Sparks, and that is the bad luck, unfortunately. It just seemed to be going too good for him today. And obviously we'll have a look at what happens. Here comes Ryan Hawk steaming down the inside, slighting up the tires side by side with the Meyer GP car. It is the legend of Turkey versus the legend of Saudi Arabia. It's almost like a home advantage for Ryan Hawk at the moment. A fantastic race 1 and an even more fantastic race 2 up into first. But Murat Goodman might have something to say about that. He is still hanging on the back of the KV, and I am trying my best to give Joãozinho a window, and I think now is the time.
No, keep going.
Now is the time, and no, it's not. As Murat Goodman tries it out, and I think I heard tires screeching. I heard tires screeching. What's going on? Murat Goodman is spun round, and I think he's just caused an absolute pillock of a collision. Oh goodness me! What the heck has just happened?
Well, that was a pillock of a collision for sure. Looked to be Evan Pardy caught up in that as per usual. So he's not having a very good day today, Mr. Pardy.
Having a very good day today at all, but meanwhile Dan Fine up into second place if he pulls his move off. No clue what's just happened, but Murat has absolutely fluffed it. I don't know what happened. I think it was just a very risky move because it just didn't look... That's not really the corner you want to make the move in, because the normal racing line, from at least my experience, is that you go very wide anyway. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure what happened there. But meanwhile, Dan Thine now trying to defend the P2 position. This could be massive for Dini Air. And Dan Thine, you know, he has a very nonchalant aura about him. He always pretends like he doesn't really care. But it always seems to be race 2 where suddenly some inner, like, Fernando Alonso awakens inside of him. And he defends the position and keeps ahead. Let's get the intervals up. But yeah, Joãozinho, my throat is killing me, man. What do you think that's what do you think has been happening? Talk to us about it. And good. Oh, I can't even give you a break. I'm so sorry. As Murat Goodman once again 3 wide going into turn 1. Murat Goodman, Elliot Vega, the 2 Blue Ridge Racing cars, Arda Güler fending off the KDR Darkstar, and Noah Sparks is involved as well. What? Like, I'm sorry, this is the place to be. What is going on at the back of the field? We also got to make sure we keep an eye on Ryan Hawk, trying to see if he can catch up to Dan Thine. But Murat Goodman has got a vengeance after losing that lead in the race. Jorge Caro, meanwhile, trying to see if he can sneak up the inside. What is this camera angle? Once again, down we go into the corner. We got to make sure that we have an eye on what is going on. And Murat Goodman, and he's taken out Evan, and Evan just can't catch a break at all. He can't catch a break. The poor soul, I can't lie. There was some questionable driving from him in race 1, but I don't think he's put a foot wrong in race 2 at the moment. And unfortunately, he's been caught up there. And now he's going to have to try and see if he can defend from Arda Güler, who I think has been caught up in some of the collisions as well. Wow, I think this is going to be a race to review, all right, that's for sure. Yeah, meanwhile, it looks like Dan Thine's lost the position to Ryan Hawk. Murat Goodman currently trying to see if he can catch back up to Jorge. Stan Von Dutch trying to see if he can make a move on Elliot Vega, but he has to be careful because Noah Sparks is on the back of him as well. So yeah, honestly, I think now is probably the only time I can have a breather, or apparently not, as Stan Von Dutch once again tries to see if he can make a move. Elliot Vega thinks the better of it, makes the defensive action. And now we're going to start finish straight. João, take it from here.
Well, it's been a fantastic 4 minutes. It's been absolutely non-stop, end-to-end action here at Bahrain, and it is Ryan Hawk, second place, Dan Thine, who has now to defend Petar Prentic, the 2 KVs, having a fantastic day out here in the sunny desert. And Jorge Caro has made his way back up to 5th with a fantastic recovery from Jorge Caro, back down from last turn 1 incident on lap 1 all the way up into 5th. Murat Goodman has just lost it on turn 4, but he is also up in 6th, and there's a massive fight for 8th place, which you don't really see here often at AFO.
Yeah, it's insane. It seems like the midfield is really tight, which is genuinely insane to see. I know these drivers have been very vocal of the cars not being that fun to drive, but at the very least they're putting up an absolute show to watch, and that's a very audacious change of direction, and down the inside goes Elliot Vega. He makes a bit of contact, otherwise that would have been one of the cleanest moves I've ever seen. But unfortunately he pushed the KDR off a wee bit, and that could be room for a black and white flag there. Needs to be careful. Meanwhile, Noah Sparks now trying to see if he can get involved. He's got his car wide enough in. Elliot gives just enough room, but Noah tags the Vega Sport, sends him around, and oh my goodness, something out like the WWE I've seen there. Arda Güler just about gets through the smoke, and there's absolute carnage. Luckily, they've all got round going again, but that was pretty insane. I can't lie.
I hate to say it, but that's pinned on Elliot Vega.
I know. I don't think he should have closed the door there. That's not the kind of corner you want to hang a move like that on. And,
no way.
And yeah, so not the best display. It looks like it's now Jaap's turn to start pulling away now, and this is what he does best, to be honest. When he can get his head out, and to be honest, he had to start from 5th. You know, that was a pretty difficult place, and Jorge as well. Jorge, who king of comebacks, I must say, because he was what, dead last heading out of turn 1. He's up into 5th now. So 2 drivers who are very, very capable of winning the World Championship. 2 drivers who are genuinely fields above the rest. I think it's only a matter of time until Jorge gets involved with the KBs. We've got 9 minutes to go. What do you make of this so far, Luckers?
Well, it's been a fantastic fight from 2nd, 3rd and 4th as well. I can't really say much about Jaap Wagenborg. That man has absolutely run away with this, as Jaap does when he's in 1st place with clean air. He just runs away with it. But yeah, the KVs have got a hell of a job now, containing Dan Thine like a Subway sandwich, and he likes sandwiches, I can promise you that.
Absolutely.
Jorge Caro is compromising here, looking for 3rd place.
Thank you, Drow. It is quite true. I think Petar needs to make sure he makes a good move here, but at the same time, he's got Jorge breathing down his neck. It's all about like the strategy now. Do you try force Dan into a move? Do you try and do you think you have the overspeeds and a nice exit, or do you just wait and try lure Jorge in and then unleash Jorge on Dan, and then that way you maintain your P4? So plenty of choice for Petar at the moment, and he has to do all of that while going around in the track and pushing to the absolute limit.
Yeah, well, you've raced these streets before, so why don't we ask you?
Well, I think, to be honest, it's kind of difficult, but I think at the same time, when you do so much races, you sort of just come up on the spot. You're just like, right, let me just race my own race. Let me just put in as much push as I'm willing to push. We'll see what happens around me. And I'd sort of just wait there, because right now you've still got 7 minutes. I don't think you'd need to really do anything right now. I think when you're sort of in the 1 minute to 2 minute range is when you start sort of putting in like you start trying things, you know? It's like a football match. When you've got a nice advantage ahead of you, you don't want to like suddenly drop the back line to 2 players, you know? You want to maintain what you've got going because it's working, and then when you've got about 5 minutes left in the game, that's when you start going on the all attack. You change up your plan depending on how much time there is left in the race. And right now, they've still got a good amount of time as Arda Güler picks up a 5-second penalty for cutting the track. He is ahead of Noah Sparks by 6 seconds. He's going to have to maintain that, because Noah's now going to notice that he has got an opportunity to try and get another place. But yeah, Dan Thine, he's maintaining it. You know what? I must give it to him. And Jorge's now getting involved in the conversation as well. We'll quickly switch over to Evan Party, and I'll keep the window open on Jorge and his efforts. But it seems to me that, you know, they're behaving. They're doing a good job, and we had a very, very dirty start to the race, but it's sort of calmed itself down now. I do feel for Evan though. This race 2 hasn't really been on his favor at all, and neither was race 1, to be honest. Very dirty moves done on him. A couple of questionable moves done by him. A lot of argy-bargy, and top it all off, he's now getting very up close and personal with Joshi Mandelbaum. He makes it ahead though, and Joshi is now trying to get the slipstream to try and see if he can get ahead. Which way is he going to pick, left or right? He's going to pick right. Evan starts squeezing him. And down they come into the braking zone. Evan takes the nice wide line. He's going to try see if he can slot his car around the inside. but he can't. He's going to have to maintain the outside length instead. And Arthur Goulaert, seeing this up ahead, will think, oh, I want a bit of that. And he's going to try and see if he can close the gap now to the people up ahead. And we will also quickly switch over to Jorge Caro, who's made it past Petar Prentic and is now on the back of Dan Thine, wriggling around like a fish you've just caught out of fresh water. Down they come into arguably one of the toughest corners to get the braking right on, and Jorge gets the move done. Dan keeps his nose involved in the conversation. A bit of contact, but they keep it going. And almost a bit of Constantina effect there. Dan nearly went back into the side of Jorge, and he needs to keep it clean here, Dan. He's got no affiliations to anyone. He doesn't care about Jaap, he doesn't care about Jorge, he just cares about himself. And right now, he wants that podium. Goodness me. It's absolute haywire at the moment, and this is all allowing Ryan Hawk to pull away at the moment. We are keeping an eye on Arda Goulaert as well, who has caught up to the back of Evan Pardy. And no, Caro has been spun around, and off goes Dan. And I think I missed that. I think I had my camera on it, but I wasn't watching on my screen. I don't know what's happened there. Jorge is. Which was, I think I'm about to put my money on it. I do think it was Dan.
I think you know.
And now this is a bit of a heated battle. These two used to be former teammates. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, I don't know if I want to watch this, but we'll watch it regardless. Murat Goodman around the outside of Dan Thine. And would I put money on him sending it down the insides? I'd be a millionaire. Down the inside goes Dan Thine. He kicks the position back, and Murat is now going to have to tuck in the slipstream to try and see it. In the background, you can see Arda Goulaert and Evan Pardy having a bit of a conversation, so to say. But yeah, this is the closest battle it seems on the track at the moment. We've also got Stan Mondutch and Elliot Vega right at the back, but they are fighting for pennies. It must be said.
Definitely.
But yeah, what a opening. Well, no, not even an opening, just what a battle. That was pretty insane. I think the issue with these cars, I have to be honest, is you try push the ultimate limit, you try race, it always ends in someone getting spun off. And I think that's what needs to change into next season. You need to have it so there's at least some way you can recover, you know?
Yeah.
That's what maybe the third time Jorge's been spun around in the same race. Just because he's a recovery king doesn't mean it's okay to just keep letting that be a normal incident. So yeah, Dan Thine currently in 5th, probably going to pick up a penalty for, and he's just, what the fuck is he doing? Dan Thine, unfortunately, spins round. Too much talent.
Too much talent. Yeah.
Too much talent. I think that's the best way to put it. He's in 6th at the moment. He is quite angry with what's just happened. And I'd be too. I feel like that's kind of just slipped out of his hands. A beautiful fight for a podium. But I mean, to be fair, he was there for arguably most of the race. Arda Goulaert trying to see if he can get involved with Evan Pardy. He has got a 5-second time penalty though, so I think he should be paying attention on trying to stay ahead of the people at the back. And while I see people at the back, Noah Sparks trying to see if he can get ahead of Joshi Mandelbaum. Two of them touch wheels. Down they go into the first corner. And Noah Sparks is going to try and take the position. And he does. A lovely move. And meanwhile at the back, Stan Mondutch is going to try and replicate the same thing, which he does. The slipstream seems to be really working here, Jaap. Because every single time someone is approaching another car heading out of the final turn, they're almost certainly ahead of them heading out of turn 1.
Definitely. It's a very price to play here because we're in the open desert. You know, you get a bit of dirty air, but yeah, so it's a very, very, very quick track. And while I've got a little window, actually, as we were just talking about the man himself, I'd just like to bring up Dan Thine's past with this track itself. We can think back to Rowe, think back to F1AC, the many places we've seen this guy race at Bahrain. So if you do remember, Dan Thine's relationship with Bahrain at Rowe was questionable.
Questionable to say the least. He did mount a mountain and then drove off the circuit. But I think it's also worth mentioning as he tries to defend the position from Evan Pardy, who I think clearly has the better rubber! And he's just completely swerved round and again took out Evan. And I don't...
I'm speechless.
I'm speechless, bro. I'm speechless. He has just completely stood still, and I think that will be the first virtual safety car of
Might want to get off the racing line, but...
of the season.
Oh, no, he's got going again.
And that most likely will be... Alright, he's got going. I will probably just call it off then.
Well, everybody is obeying the virtual safety car, so that's quite good.
We'll call that back off. We'll get racing in approximately 3 seconds. And we get going. And Jorge Caro and Dan Thine's been disqualified for full course yellow tape.
Oh man.
Jorge Caro's been given a 10-second for full course yellow speed. I'm not entirely sure how that's happened, because he looked like he was behaving on my screen. So I'll most likely void, and Stan Von Dutch has just been given a stop and go for full course yellow Delta. I think I will probably void penalties for full course yellow, because that was right at the end, and I think everyone's behaved. We'll look over the replay footage and we'll try to give some leniency, but yeah, it is good to just test that out. One thing for certain is that Jaap Wagenvoort absolutely flying out ahead at the front of the field, and while Jorge won the first race, Jaap Wagenvoort most certainly wins the second. And unfortunately, mate, this is gonna go all the way down to the final race, I fear. Ryan Hawk comes round for P2, a monumental finish for the KV team, and Petar Prentić and Jorge Caro side by side down to the final line. Who's it going to be? It's going to be a photo finish. Who's going to edge him out? Jorge Caro gets the P3. Petar Prentić.
I think they finished the exact same time.
Did they?
Yeah.
I'm not
the chat
sure.
says third for both of them.
Murat Goodman, Arda Güler will stay. I mean, I'm obviously going to take results. We got to make sure real penalty. We got to remember that real penalty is a little dodgy. Noah Sparks comes round to finish off his race. Elliot Vega finishes in. I mean, I'm not entirely sure where he's finished. Murat is, I think, just sat on the track, and into Murat Vega goes. Evan Pardy, and then Joshi Mandelbaum, and then Stan Von Dutch in the pits. Interesting race. I think that's the best way to put it.
I want to go to driver's briefing very quickly.
Yeah, let's head over to driver's briefing. Let's just let's just head over to the briefing room. And let's put myself up. Okay, while everyone is busy getting into here, I know that there was a safety car right at the... It's not a safety car. There was a full course yellow right at the end of the session, and people got awarded penalties for speeding, etc. On my screen, however, I did see that everyone was maintaining Delta. I think it was just very strict this time around, so do not worry about penalties heading out of the full course yellow. Those will be removed promptly. And I will need to look like... I need to look into the server to see what that photo finish between Jorge and Petar was, because I have no idea who finished in front. But we'll have a look.
It was Jorge. Jorge, I've just reviewed it.
So yeah, but yeah, the full course ended way too soon. That was on me. It's just that as soon as I called it, the incident cleared up almost immediately. So kind of seemed a bit useless, but it was a stationary car for more than like 10 seconds. So I thought we might as well call it. So yeah, that's really that. But yeah, don't worry about penalties given for anything other than corner cuts. Do not worry about those, because those will be removed, and you should maintain your positions. But that is mainly it on my side, so please don't freak out about penalties. There were some, again, questionable driving standards, but for the most part, no one's been executed by the cartel in the sense of sent flying out of the track, which was something I was worrying about heading into this one. We are going to do a number of interviews. We're going to do them very quickly, though, because I need to be off, but we shall get those cracking on. So we'll start off with the race 1 winner, Jorge. Then we'll start off with the race 2 winner, and then we will just go from sort of finishes from there. So we'll bring up Jorge now. Jorge, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear
No,
that, man.
honestly, no, I'm joking. I'm going to say just one quick thing. First, congratulate to Jaap for the championship. This was my last race here. It's not. I'm so tired. Like, you can only race 5 people here. The rest is just for a separate league. It should be like rookie league or something. If you race, you should be confident that the rest of the field is going to behave. But that's not the case. Never. It's not going to be in the short term. So I'm not enjoying this anymore. Like, for real. If it was 5 of us, it would be nice. But I'm tired. I'm quitting now. Thank you so much to Evan for the support for his team. I hope he can manage to get the constructors, but this was the last. Like, I do everything perfect and I get nothing. When it's not server issues, it's people. When it's just me doing everything, it's the server. So I'm really done with this. I really wish you the best for AFO. And if I can help something without racing, I will do it.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Cool. Okay. Right. Judging off of the sort of tone I'm getting, I don't want to do any more interviews. We're wrapping it up. So thank you very much. Frankly put, I understand that people are upset and understand that people have emotions, but like I respectfully don't want to sit here for the next 20 minutes just getting slated. So Evan, fuck off, mate. All right. I will catch you guys later.
I'm getting invited to speak.
Bro, no, mate. No. We're wrapping up. Okay? Okay. Thank you very much, guys. We'll catch you later. We'll do the penalties and stuff. We'll try to get that stuff out very quickly. And yeah. But yeah. Luck, is anything you want to add?
No, I'm going to sit here and talk to these guys for a little minute. But yeah, that was something.
That was something for sure. Right, we'll catch you guys later. Thank you very much.